Teaching is the noble profession. I believe some of the noblest moments of my life have to do with teaching. Teaching is less intense than family life and less important. How often is a teacher more important to someone than a parent? Parents have kids for decades. They can do untold damage and immeasurable good. To have excellent parents, that must be one of the greatest kinds of good luck anyone can have. And to have appalling parents, that must be one of the worst misfortunes. I teach in a small department at a little college. If someone takes one of my courses, he or she spends 50 minutes a day with me 3 times a week. I am too lazy to calculate the total number of hours, but the thimbleful of time students spend with me seems tiny compared to the mountain of time they spend with family and friends. There is something comforting about that. The teacher-student relationship is smaller, more limited, and more modest than the other relationships. And yet, I believe there is something noble in teaching. I often say that to students who announce their wish to become teachers. Teaching is a noble profession. I don't mean noble as in the nobility, the wealthy and powerful aristocracy. There is another meaning of the word. To be noble is to have or show qualities of high moral character. Now, morality is an area where I lack confidence. When I was a child, I was convinced that I did not have or show qualities of high moral character. I was not sure that I was good. I went to a church where I was told I was certain to go to hell unless I believed in God, and I never could bring myself to believe in God. I lost my temper a lot and said mean, witty things that hurt other people's feelings. I often told lies, and I was rarely brave. I was a snob. If you didn't read books, if you were not some kind of intellectual or artist, I wouldn't give you the time of day. I could have been worse. At least I refrained from hitting people, from stealing large sums, and from murder and arson. I was only mildly bad. But good? I was not so sure about that. And high moral character, to be noble in that sense, indicates one should get an A plus in the morality category. At least with an easy grader like my dad, I might receive a B. A tough grader like my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Manning, would give me a low C. I started teaching at the age of 30. Teaching changed me. Slowly but surely, it made me better. In teaching, you have to teach to everyone. You can't just aim at the 3 students who most remind you of yourself. No really good teacher can be a snob. The worst student in the room, the one with a lousy attitude, the one that sits in the corner and never makes eye contact, that one is just as important, more important maybe, than the eager one who wants to get an A. Teaching made me realize that every single student is worth knowing. I don't know if Mrs. Manning would give me anything higher than a B minus even now, but I believe that teaching gave me opportunities to show and have high moral character. I believe at the heart of teaching is relationships. There can never be any high-level teaching and learning until the student knows the teacher and the teacher knows the student. Suddenly, there I am, looking into the eyes of a student and responding, not to some abstract generic student, but to that particular one. There is no lying in it, no bullshit. For at least that moment, I get that student, and that student gets me. I hear the student's words and feel the emotion behind the words. The student is understood and knows it. I respond, and my response is honest, heartfelt, real in some wonderful and intangible way. I say what I truly believe, and it is exactly the right response. Something extraordinary happens in that moment, the moment of noble teaching, and it makes me better and makes the student better. Maybe we are not improved for long. Maybe we soon subside into our usual selves, but for the length of that moment, we are better.